up, idols? It's CC Lesson 3. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I am filming this in a rush, so I didn't set up the audio situation. I'm so sorry. I'm literally on my way out, but there's something I wanted to talk with you guys about first, because for one, RM, V, J-Hope, Taeyang, Bangchan, Idol, Hwasa, Somi, aespa, Seungmin, Junho, Hyungwon, and Jay Park, more on him in a second, amongst many other celebrities right now in Korea, are in a bit of hot water, and we're gonna talk about why. Literally, so many of my biases are involved, and I'm like, oh shit, let's discuss. I suddenly started to see so much criticism on social media. People have asked me if I heard about this, people have asked me to talk about this, so I decided to look into it. Recently, there were some major stars who gathered for the W Korea charity event for breast cancer awareness. The Love Your W movement started to raise awareness and money for those fighting breast cancer. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to South Korea, everything is a scandal. So I was looking into this with a huge grain of salt and a lot of skepticism, because how dare you get married to your girlfriend of 8 years? Scandal. What do you mean you dropped your earbud and staff picked it up? That's rude. Scandal. He didn't wave at or acknowledge the mob harassing him at Incheon airport. Scandal. She gained weight? Scandal. She lost weight? Scandal. He kissed a girl? Scandal. They were smoking? Scandal.
Are you done? Are you done?
Literally, actually insane. But the more I dug into it, the more I'm starting to understand where all the criticism is coming from. By the way, as this video unfolds, let me know in the comments if you think it's a big deal, if you don't think it's a big deal, what your thoughts on it are, how this could have been prevented, all that good stuff. Let's discuss together. When photos and videos of this event came out, there was no pink, no ribbons. There weren't even any actual statements to state what the charity was for, what the gathering was for, what the celebration was for. So a lot of people are like, how are y'all trying to raise awareness when y'all just wanted to party? That's fine, party, but don't do it in the name of charity. When attendees were interviewed, no one mentioned breast cancer or how important the cause was and how important it is to raise awareness.
연말 계획이 어떻게 되시는지.
저희 계속 앨범 준비하죠? 네, 뭐 자켓도 찍고 뮤직비디오도 찍고 저번에 신경수 할래? 신경수 이제 준비했습니다. 진짜? 와, 아무튼 내년 3월 많이 기대해주세요.
네, 감사합니다.
Instead, they talked about their upcoming projects, their outfits, and who they were wearing, their favorite memories from 20 years ago, because apparently this event first took place 20 years ago. It became a who's event, a social gathering, the elites of the entertainment industry in Korea. Even on their official social media accounts, it was filled with the attendees doing TikTok trends, partying and dancing. Not even a statement about what this was for and how important it is.
Like sugar on my tongue. Your body is so sweet, sweet, sweet. Invite me if you come. Bitch, where?
What it do?
You would think there would be at least one mention of someone who survived breast cancer or who is currently battling breast cancer. At least the existence and the acknowledgement of cancer.
I wasn't gonna make a video about this, but since this video has been circulating around the internet, I feel like I should come out and speak about it. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen the W Korea's event for breast cancer awareness. I couldn't help but wonder why does this feel like a party rather than a cause. I've been through cancer myself. I literally just finished my last chemotherapy 2 days ago. I know what it's like to sit in a hospital and wait and be scared and not know of the certainty of what's gonna happen in the future. Breast cancer affects nearly 1 in 8 Korean women, with around 30,000 new diagnoses each year. These are lives, not statistics to glamorize. So let me ask you this. If you're gonna hold an awareness event for breast cancer, why isn't there pink? Why is there no logos here or there to represent the fight and the cause of this disease? Those are not just symbols that are decorative. They remind us, they unite us, and they say, hey, you are seen and you are not alone. Awareness is not just about red carpets and taking photos. It's about visibility, education, and real support. For people like me, cancer is not a dress code. It's not a campaign, it's not a hashtag, it's not a celebration. It's hospital beds, chemo chair, and learning how to love yourself when you can't even recognize yourself when you look at yourself in the reflection. If an event is not making people aware of the issue, then what's the point? What are we celebrating?
But instead, we saw people drinking, dancing, partying, saying hi to each other, and doing TikTok challenges. So to a lot of people, it was giving let them eat cake. And we mentioned Jay Park. I promised more on that, so let's get to that. Full disclaimer, I don't like Jay Park. I never really have. And that's a very unpopular opinion. I get dragged for it all the time, but that is just it, my opinion. Of all the songs in his catalog, and he has a very long career, he performed Mome, this. You know that song that is incredibly objectifying of women's bodies? That song at an event that is meant to bring awareness to breast cancer is a crazy choice. Performing a song with lyrics like those twins that hang from your chest, aka breast, at a breast cancer awareness function is diabolical. And like I said, I never really fucked with Jay Park, so it's a little bit easier for me to process this and register this moment as an L for him. But it got even worse because he made an apology. After the official breast cancer campaign event, I understood that the party and performance were for the people who had gathered with good intentions and good hearts, taking time out of their busy schedule. So I just did it like a regular performance. I apologize to any cancer patients who felt offended or uncomfortable after watching the performance. I hope you stay healthy, fighting. I too worked hard and performed without pay with a good heart despite my injury. Please do not exploit that kind heart. And the request I made not to exploit this is a request to those who try to create an issue with the well-intentioned actions. Please do not misunderstand. I'm sorry, what? I performed even though I was injured and I performed without pay? Jay Park, do you want a damn cookie? It's a charity event. Why would you expect to be paid for that? Why would you brag about not being paid for performing at a charity event? It's giving, I'm a nice guy, so you should let me fuck. When you're a good person, you don't have to tell people you're a good person. When you do a good deed, you don't have to remind people of that good deed. Unless you want praise, unless you want a reward for that deed, or being a good person. And let me just say, that song Mome is by far my least favorite song to ever come out of Korea. Because from 2017 to 2025, every single night that I've ever gone out in Korea, I hear that goddamn song. It's a charity event and you want people to twerk? Bruh. They need to retire this song. I'm starting a campaign. So anyway, this organization has been around for about 20 years now. And in that 20 years, they raised less than $1 million US for breast cancer survivors and victims and people battling breast cancer. Not great. That rounds up to something like $40,000 US a year. And I'm only using US dollars because most of y'all are American, I'm sorry. But when you think about the people who attended this event, they probably spend that amount in a day if they want, you know? So to raise that as a whole organization per year is pretty abysmal. And don't get me wrong, $800,000, approximately $800,000 is a lot of money, but raising that over the course of 20 years to battle breast cancer, that's a drop in the ocean. That's joke money. And the thing is, the attendees who attend don't actually donate. Instead, W Korea raises money by advertising the products from those who sponsor the event. Which is why when they were interviewed, they were asked about what they were wearing instead of why they were there and where there is. What are we doing? What is this for? What is this cause? So it became a fashion show. Oh my God, your favorite V from BTS is wearing Cartier at this W Korea charity function. Doesn't that make you want to go out and buy Cartier now? Capitalism. Sorry, I'm sick. It's capitalism. And the thing to me that really made this whole thing even sketchier is when W Korea were asked about this and to make a statement, they simply said, we have no comment. And also the fact that they're trying to wipe evidence of this event from their socials, that's what guilty people do. You erase evidence. Personally, I don't blame the attendees. And I'm not trying to like coddle them or scapegoat the organization or anything in favor of defending these people. But when you're like the brand ambassador of a brand, you have a contract, right? Like you're told you have to go here, you have to wear this, you have to do this, you have to say this, or you don't get paid, or you violate the contract, all that good stuff. And we know luxury brands are heavily pushed in South Korea. Every major luxury brand you can think of has a Korean ambassador, or several. It's good publicity, it's good press, you must attend, you'll regret it if you don't. You may face consequences if you don't. And I feel like to try to distance themselves from the backlash over the next few days, it would not surprise me if the attendees started to publicly make donations in the name of breast cancer and breast cancer awareness. So yeah, I just feel like W Korea has some explaining to do. There is nothing wrong with a party. There is nothing wrong with having fun. Like, we love to see outfits and, oh my God, this is what they wore at this party, at this event. But don't do so in the name of charity. You know, you're trying to make yourself seem altruistic and you're not. Also, they were pretty smart to not call themselves a fundraiser because over 20 years, you raise less than $1 million US, those numbers aren't too impressive, you know? So when they say, no, we're just increasing awareness, technically, it's like the Streisand effect. Have you guys ever heard of that? So basically, I forgot why, but Barbara Streisand was like trying to hide her home in Malibu or something, and because she was trying to hide it and suppress it, that news became more news and it brought more attention to her home. So for example, the Epstein list, right? Trying so hard to keep that secret, because if that got out there, that would be devastating to all the pervs and creeps on that list. But in the efforts to hide the list and minimize the list and keep it private, it's become more public and more people talk about it. Streisand effect. You learn new terms every day. I just found that out. In a way, this did help increase awareness for breast cancer. But it's still an L and a bad look for W Korea, Jay Park for performing Monet. You know what? To his credit, maybe he didn't choose that song. I don't know. Maybe he said, I'm just gonna perform my biggest hit. Maybe he was told to perform his biggest hit. No sé. But horrible. Whoever made that decision needs to be fired. And what I think is most tragic of all, this was so incredibly preventable. Like I said, they're not a fundraiser, they're increasing awareness. Why did I do that reverse? They're increasing awareness. So all you had to do was have the dress code be pink, for example. Why did they have them all wear black and like gray and muted colors, you know? If you had them wear pink, if you had them wear the little breast cancer ribbon, if you had them make simple statements about how important it is to discuss such an important topic and let everyone know, hey, this is where you can donate, this is where you can help. If you think you might have this, go see a doctor. You know, like, it's so easy. A simple statement, 10-second statement, and this could have all been prevented. That's the crazy thing about it. Nobody is mad at them for partying. We're mad that it's supposed to be charity and there was no charity at the charity event. So yeah, that is just my 2 cents. I would love to know how you guys feel about all this. Like I said, I was initially hesitant because I was like, bro, Koreans can't do shit without it being a scandal. And that's my bad, because I am so used to everything blowing up when it's nothing. But this time it does seem a little bit, I understand where some people are upset. On one hand, W Korea, that's an L, right? I don't know where this W should be, L Korea. But I don't blame the attendees personally. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks so much for watching. If you did, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Annyeong. I gotta go.